um, we're hitting legs later today with one of my buddies. So I got this senior graduation practice, and then that's like practice for graduation ceremony. It's stupid to me, but it is what it is. So I've just been waiting to go to that, and then after that I'm going to leg day with one of my buddies, and then I'm going to youth group with my buddy and my girlfriend, and then I'm going back to my buddy's house to sleep over. So busy day. But I was watching this video. It's by I don't really watch this channel. I just saw one of my favorite YouTubers in it, Jubilee Media. Greg Doucette. I like Greg Doucette a lot. I know he's very controversial, but he usually is tries to keep it 100% honest and real while not being too harsh. One of my problems, just as me as a Christian, as just me and myself, like I used to be very um not censored enough. I didn't censor myself when it came to topics. I was very brutally honest with people when I should have been more soft on people, and I should have been more understanding of their situation. And I was kind of I there was times where I was said stuff that I shouldn't have. Even though it may have been true, I shouldn't have said it in the manner that I said it. But it was a video about fat guys versus fit guys trying to see each other's like different standpoints. Blah 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 blah. But my opinion on the whole fit, fat, blah blah blah. Honestly, I'm not like the fittest guy right now. I'm fit, but I'm not like shredded or whatever. But my whole standpoint on it is that there is no excuse to be obese, like morbidly obese. Like there is always times you can work out. There is always times you can like get like there's it's so easy. Calorie deficit, workout for like 45 minutes a day. Bare minimum, you do cardio for 30 minutes and you weight train for 15 minutes and then cut calories. You'll lose weight fast. If you're not worried about muscle and blah blah, you just want to lose weight and be healthy, then yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying the way that one of the guys, Myron, some like I seen him before on like TikTok and stuff, like some alpha blah 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 bullshit. Sorry, excuse my mouth, bull crap. He said I did agree with him that there's no excuse to being obese, but I didn't agree with how he went about it. He was very much shame people, blah 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 blah, this and this and that. I think the journey from being obese to fit or obese and shredded, because there's a difference between fit and shredded. Oftentimes you see people with like 6%, even like 10% body fat is kind of not healthy at times. It can be unhealthy, but fitness for men is between I say 13 to 20% body fat. 20% is like maximum. You don't want to be above that. But I'm saying the journey from fat to fit is a long one. It is a hard one. And I think anybody who is actively trying to better themselves and is actively trying to, go from fat to fit or fat to shredder or whatever their goal might be, I applaud them for even trying. It's the way he was going about it is he would look at somebody's fat, not knowing their situation at all, and just say, well, you're a piece of shit because you're fat. You don't know what that person's doing to like better themselves, and oftentimes that person may just be starting their journey, and by shaming them you're making them not want to keep going. And yes, in some cases bullying and shaming does work, but oftentimes if they're starting their that's like oftentimes I see that bullying and shaming helps them start, but when they keep going and get going, it becomes a different goal. So shaming them is not going to help. And that used to be a problem for me. I used to be very much like no BS. You must like be tough on them. And tough love is good in some standpoints. Like if you have like a trainer or if somebody has a trainer like the one guy I was talking about, and the guy you're training keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, be like, hey, you need to stop and actually do what I'm telling you, or you're not going to make progress and you're going to be stuck in the same place you've been in. And that's tough love. Calling somebody a fat piece of crap and you're a lesser human being because you're fat and blah 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 is not okay. I mean, and like just from obesity standpoints, a lot of bodybuilders are obese, and powerlifters, they have a little bit of a tummy, but they're pushing themselves. Everybody has different goals and different standpoints. In my opinion, I think everybody should at least be relatively fit. I don't think or if they're actively trying to be relatively fit, that's great. I want you to keep going on that journey. I urge you to push yourself and be the best version of you, but I don't think it is okay to shame people and laugh at them and bully them and be like you're just a piece of crap because you don't know their situation. I mean, I was pretty chubby at one point, and I was taking all sorts of different medications, and that was making me fat because of stuff that the doctors told me I had, but I did like they told me I had like all these conditions, and then later on I found out that I didn't. like not the doctors, but they were prescribing meds that weren't for my conditions. Like I was put on a schizophrenia med. I was put on a schizophrenia med. I don't have schizophrenia, and I have like I've been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and ODD, I think, or whatever, ODD, I think. But they're putting me on a freaking schizophrenia med and all this other garbage. And there was a time in my life where I was really depressed, and it was hard for me to, I was in gymnastics when I was 8. Like I was on like the advanced class, intermediate class when I was 8 years old, and I didn't go to team that time because I gained so much weight from being on the depression meds, the schizophrenia meds, all the meds that these doctors were pumping me full of. So I urge you, if you have a friend who's obese or needs to work on their weight a little bit, urge them to do it, but be nice. Don't be an asshole. Don't be like, you're just a fat piece of crap. You need to get to work. Blah 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 blah. Don't do that. Urge them in a kind and loving way. Be like, hey man, I want the best for you. I want you to be the best version of you can be. I'm not saying you have to have a shredded six pack, but I do want you to be healthy. So I urge you to lose some weight and take them to the gym with you. Go to the gym with them. Like work out with them. It is so much easier. Like especially when you're first starting, when you have somebody with you to do it with you and push each other. It's easier that way. But I'm saying back to my story is that I was on meds and I didn't make the team, and I just kind of like shut down when I didn't make the team at the old place. Obviously years later I'm off of medication. I pushed myself and I worked hard and I made the team. I'm not on team anymore because I aged out, but I was on team for 3 years. But when I was like 8 and 9, when I could have made team, when all the other kids were making team, I didn't because I started taking meds for all this medical stuff and I gained weight and it was tough. And I got into a rut and I didn't work out, I didn't lift, I didn't exercise. I was pretty fat for my age. And then I got off all those meds. I started bettering myself. I started like really working on myself, and I come to God. I came to God between a lot more. Like what's it called? Accepted Christ into my heart when I was 4, but at that time I was too young to understand, really. And as I went on, I was not doing the things I was supposed to, and I was in that rut. I was depressed. I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. And then later on, I started to grow in my passion with Christ. I started to follow Him more, and I started to grow. And then I started like getting back into lifting, made the gymnastics team, and my life is pretty good. There's still ups and downs. There's still times of struggle, but it took time to get from that point of depression, anger, sadness, frustration, and just pure like pain and just hatred. And I'm not saying like my life's a sob story. No, I know a lot of more people have it harder, but that's what I'm saying. Try to understand the person's situation, and if you don't understand it, don't be a dickhead. Excuse my language. I'm gonna curse a little bit. Don't be an a-hole. Don't be that guy that just calls them a piece of crap and puts them down. Lift them up, encourage them. If you have to have tough love, do it in a loving manner. Don't be in a butthole. All right. If you have that friend that's pretty fat and obese, be like, hey man, I'm worried about you. I love you. You're one of my buddies. You're my best friend, man. I want you to reevaluate your life and just look at what you want. And I want you to be healthy and I want the best for you. So, hey, maybe come to the gym with me sometimes, maybe you'll start to like it. And I guarantee you the first couple times they're not going to like it. And tell them, hey, please, I beg of you, just keep going with me and eventually you'll enjoy it. And over time they will, because I don't think I've ever met any person that has consistently gone to the gym for at least a year and not enjoyed it. Because like it's gonna suck the first couple times, especially if you're like morbidly obese. It's gonna suck because you're already carrying that bunch of weight on you. But I'm saying, understand the person she would choose. Excuse me, can't speak. Understand the person's situation before you put them down. Don't be an a-hole. Yes, tough love is okay here and there, but be loving and kind and actually put them up. Don't put them down. All right. That's that. Like if we could all lift each other up and all push ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves, but in a loving manner and not being an a-hole, then none of the world would be fat or obese. It wouldn't be a problem. We would all be going to the gym together with our friends and our friend groups and blah blah blah, and it would be fine. But the fact that there's also just like pressure on doing that, and sometimes it's hard for people. Just understand their situation. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse to sit in your bed and eat chips and watch TV. No. I'm not saying watching TV is wrong. I just watched a YouTube video in my bed. But I'm saying be active. Go out in the sun. It's just be active and be healthy. Don't let yourself stay in that rut. And also people who are watching this that have that friend that might be a little overweight or heck, they might be really overweight. Urge them to go to the gym with you. Or if you don't go to the gym, take them on walks. It's so easy to walk. It's beautiful. It's summertime. Go for a walk. All right? Walking is so easy. and help just urge them to better themselves in a loving manner and not in an a-hole way by putting them down. Lift them up, be like, "Hey, I'm worried about you. Can you might want to you want to come to the gym with me? You want to work out with me? You just want to just give it a try, all right?" That's what you got to be like. Don't put people down. I had this problem before. I used to be that guy that was like, no excuses, no crap, blah 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 blah. You gotta work out, you gotta lift, you're fat, blah blah blah. Yeah, I used to be that guy. All right, and I still do struggle with that. Like sometimes I look at people that are like morbidly obese. I'm like, how do you let yourself get there? How do you let yourself go that far? And yes, I still do believe that to a point, but I also understand that you don't know their situation. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how hard they're working behind the scenes to improve themselves. You like that person you may be looking at a 300-pound person that's not shredded, but that person may have been 500 pounds 2 years ago. So they've been working hard to lose 200 pounds. All right, you just gotta don't judge a person before you actually talk to them and get to know them and understand their situation. Lift your friends up, don't put them down. Lift people up, don't put them down. Peace.